Hello, everyone. My name is Jenny and I'm an astrologer. We're going to talk today about the energy we're having through this, what's called, it's like the time between eclipses. I can't remember, like, if there's a fancier name for it, but the time that we have between eclipses, between the eclipse that we had on the 5th, 6th, and then the one coming on the 21st. It's an intense time. And I didn't spend a whole lot of time going into the energy that's going to be carried over now, sort of like that hangover energy from the eclipse of the 5th. Metatron was showing me people scaling mountains, but carrying a lot of debt and burden and feelings of responsibility on their backs, dragging that along with them. So I know that it's a slog right now, slog. I can't really think of a better name, but we're getting through it, you know. And he said it's like we're feeling heavy and moving uphill toward the crest of the mountain, okay? And this goes a little bit to what I had discussed in a previous video about taking on responsibility for other people. Maybe your ancestors is something that you came in with, that you are going to do something for your ancestors. And I know people, you know, don't pay a whole lot of attention to when other people address what's going on in the subconscious, but the subconscious governs 90% of your choices, okay? That's just the way it is. That's a scientific fact. That's nothing to do with spirituality. And the fact is that in our DNA and in our subconscious, from lives that our ancestors led, lives that we've led, there's a lot of karmic debt and a karmic burden kind of energy still running. Those programs are still running for a lot of people. And when you add that with Pluto and the South Node, it's like not being able to let go and release it because we feel like somehow we're responsible for it. That's an illusion and a trick of the mind is what Metatron is saying. Not anything based in actual fact. That's just part of the human condition and a collective consciousness belief that we all have, that we're somehow responsible and we're somehow guilty, is what he's saying. Guilty of these things. So really, this is a period now between eclipses where we're going to do a lot of releasing and letting go. I surrender to the process of my own transformation. I release any subconscious stories of debt, being indebted, having to earn my way, having to earn redemption. Those are all programs that are carried in the collective consciousness that hold us back and that make us feel this astral weather as being a heavy burden, okay? And like we're never going to reach that summit is what he's saying, okay? So that's what we're going through right now this week. I know it's intense. I'm not going to say that it hasn't had any effect on me. I feel it too. But really taking those, because Mars is in Aries now and he wants to go. And it's like, as we're going, you know, we just really need to keep moving forward, but really releasing everything that's not yours, okay? And setting your intention that you're going to release. And he's saying not to be dwelling on the past, not to be dwelling on any negative thinking going on, because we had Mercury and the South Node involved in that eclipse as well. So really just setting our intention that we're moving toward the light is what he's saying. And being able to do that with the feeling of peace and feeling resilient is what he's saying, okay? So that's what we have happening right now. And we'll get into the dates a little bit with that. So let me see where that is in my notes. I mean, one of the things one of the saving graces with this energy is that Venus has now moved into Sagittarius, and she's going to be there until February 4th. And the sign of Sagittarius has so much hope, so much energy of moving forward, moving higher, moving up. And it can also be an energy of exaggeration. So for really all of us, but sun, moon, Cancer rising, this is especially true. Scorpio, sun, moon rising, watching our sugar. Venus is sugar. And in Sagittarius, there's like an exaggeration energy where we can be a bit overindulgent. So that's happening for Cancer, sun, moon rising in your 6th house of diet. And in Scorpio, it's the 2nd house of food. So that's why I'm mentioning those names. But really, for all of us, watching sugar intake is a good idea. But this is also like finding other cultures, other types of food that you enjoy, like doing a little bit of exploration, maybe eating something you haven't tried before, maybe going out to a restaurant with friends and trying a different kind of food, meeting people from other cultures, being inspired by stories that you read, books that you read, anything having to do with adventure, planning a trip overseas, learning a new language, a foreign language, that would be okay with this weather too. And then Mercury now has moved into Capricorn, and he will be there only until the 25th of what am I saying, January. So, yeah. So Mercury in Capricorn can be a little bit biting. It's kind of like the person standing on the soapbox, and he's going to square Mars. So Mercury squaring Mars is, I have that in my natal chart, and that's where we can just level somebody with the way that we speak to them. Or someone could come at you that way too. So you want to be really, just tempered that energy. Maybe if there's a subject that could bring tension between you and another person, especially siblings or cousins, maybe wait until after the 25th to have that discussion if there's any way that you could avoid it, even with texting in that energy. And that's happening this week. So that will pass quickly, but Mercury will stay in Capricorn until the 25th. So just want to watch out for that a little bit. And then all of the planets now are going forward until April 11th when Jupiter begins his retrograde. So, and that will come in April. We'll talk about it again then, but he'll pass over he's going to come over the degree where he moves back during his retrograde in this month of January. So expect things to come up again that are coming up in January for you. January is just a big month. I mean, we had 2 planets move signs. All the planets are direct. We have the 2 eclipses. On the 13th of January, Jupiter will come into his square with Neptune. That's an energy that we're going to start feeling on the 11th. On the 11th, also, the sun will meet up with Pluto. Okay, so that's really exaggerating these eclipse energies when the sun moves up to Pluto, and that's not such an easy energy day energetically, I should say. So that's January 11th. That's a 111. Once the sun moves past Pluto, then she makes her way up to the south node and passes that on the 17th. But this is, once it's past Pluto, we'll feel a bit of a shift. And then Jupiter will come up to square Neptune. So Jupiter is an exaggerating energy. Neptune is like the infinite possibilities. If you direct this energy in the right way, this will carry you very, very far. Setting your intention of coming into your higher consciousness, setting your intention that you're going to be able to listen to and trusting that you're hearing your intuition, trusting that you're hearing those higher vibrational energies. But this can also be a carried away energy. So for people that have problems with addiction, especially with alcohol or just getting high, you're going to want to watch there's not a lot of overindulgence with that as well, because even Venus being pleasure in that sign can play a part in that energy. And it can also be like if you do meet someone and they seem too good to be true, or someone's telling you something that sounds too good to be true, go with that until you have confirmation, a solid confirmation of otherwise, that it is to be trusted, because this can be a lot of promises being made, and where we're making promises that are, we're like burning ourselves out kind of thing, because we're like, I can do anything. That's Jupiter square Neptune. But also, this is going to be downloads. It makes us tired, but it's also a lot of downloads and upgrades coming in. Okay. And Jupiter is in fire. We have fire with Uranus and Mars as well. And then the ocean of Pisces energy. So we'll see if anything comes about with that. Then I was saying the sun will pass the south node on the 17th, and that's definitely going to be like a breath of fresh air. Venus was going to trine Mars on her way to Jupiter. She meets up with Jupiter on the 21st, but she's going to come into a very nice trine with Jupiter earlier in that week, which I did not write the date down for. Oh, shoot, let me think. I want to say that that's like the 17th. Maybe I'll put it in the notes. I'm going to have to go and look, because I double checked that I hadn't forgotten a date, but I did. But anyway, Venus in fire, trining Mars in Aries. That's a really nice energy for meeting someone. But, like I said, and by that time, Jupiter and Neptune will have moved out of their exact square, but there's still a little bit of square going on. So, like I said, if you meet someone that seems too good to be true, go with that until you have another confirmation that maybe, just be a little bit careful with that. Don't get too carried away with it. And then the 21st, we've got a full moon lunar eclipse at 0 degrees of Leo. So I didn't pull any cards for this. I know it's a short video. That's just, I apologize too that it's coming to you so late. But really, this energy is not so easy. It's really a lot of taking deep breaths in through your nose, going to your root chakra, asking for the blue ray, which is peace and calm, to fill all of the waters in your body, and then surrendering to the process of your own transformation, allowing yourself to let go and release old karmic baggage so that you can move forward. That's what Mother Mary was saying with this eclipse that we just had, being with the South Node, to see that as like an energy that's spurring us forward. I wanted to mention that I will be part of an astrology summit that's coming up online during the month of February with a lot of other astrologers. If you go to my website, a window will pop up to sign up for my newsletter. That's where you get notifications of things like that. Also, the Congregation of the Emerald Fire meetings, those go out by newsletter. And then I'm going to start updating there with different things going on with the astrology when I don't have time to make a video. If Metatron gives me something to, let people know right away, then I'll stick that in a newsletter instead of just putting it in a Facebook post, because I know a lot of you are not on Facebook. Also, below in the description box, you'll find the link to my Vimeo channel. That's where you can purchase the link to the Zoom meetings for the Sisterhood of the Emerald Fire. Just because of my cost in doing that, they're $1.11, so not very expensive. Also, to make sure that the work is being done with people who are serious about doing the work and not just putting it out there for anybody. That's why that's on the Vimeo channel. And my classes are full, but once the classes are finished, then they will be uploaded to the Vimeo channel. So if you just want to follow me on that, then you'll have notification when videos go up for sale, different videos. And then I will have the link to Patreon coming up this week. You'll be able to get that from my website, astrologyforascension.com. My email is also down in the description box. Everybody, just really be easy with yourself. These are not easy energies to contend with. And, I feel like we'll have a lot of relief about the 18th of the month. And then we're working up to that full moon in Leo at 0 degrees, unlimited potential of your creative gifts, Leo. Heart also, A lot of things coming up in February for everybody. I've known that since like August, September, when I knew my classes would start in February. February is a big month. This month we're kind of just coming into this new energy and deciding, where we're pointing that arrow and then getting ready to just move forward. Once the sun passes the south node on the 18th, everything's direct, nothing's in the way. We're just going to move forward. This is a great time with Mercury in Capricorn and Mars in Aries to work on an exercise. Doesn't have to be something that tortures you, but any kind of new exercise routine or health habit that you'd like to form, this will solidify that, especially when you're talking about diet, because it's in Capricorn. And so we don't feel like we really want to be too overindulgent anyway. But remember, if you have slip-ups with things like that, go easy on yourself, okay? Just let it go, forgive yourself, and move on, okay? We've all been there. Alrighty, everybody, take care, and I'm wishing you so much love and many blessings this month, and for all of those downloads to come in without any hiccups, and everybody get a lot of rest. Take good care of yourselves. All right, bye-bye, everyone.